What if beneath the ice, a power had been sleeping for centuries, waiting only for its true heir to awaken it? Night had fallen over the Sky Kingdom. Silence covered the castle courtyard. David sat alone on a crystal staircase, staring up at the endless night sky. 2 dragon keys were glowing in his hands, while the tiny baby dragon slept peacefully on his shoulder. But David couldn't sleep. The words of the dragon hunter's leader kept echoing in his mind. By the time all the keys are in your hands, the Shadow Wyrm will already be awake. David quickly pulled out the golden map. One location on the map was glowing with a mysterious blue light. Frozen Dragon Temple. Suddenly, a strange voice echoed throughout the castle. "Heir, the 3rd trial will be the coldest of them all, because the key hidden there will awaken only for a heart that remains warm, even in the face of fear." The next morning, the golden map began moving on its own. A glowing path appeared across its surface. It was showing David the way. The baby dragon had grown stronger now. With a powerful flap of its tiny wings, it lifted David into the sky and carried him toward the frozen mountains. Higher and higher they flew. The clouds slowly transformed into endless fields of white snow. The wind became stronger. Soon, the entire world seemed to disappear beneath a sea of snow and blue sky. At last, they reached the foot of a gigantic frozen mountain. And there, hidden among the ice, stood an ancient temple. Its walls were covered in layers of frost. At the entrance stood a gigantic dragon statue. David slowly descended from the baby dragon's back. The moment his feet touched the frozen ground, the statue's eyes suddenly lit up with a brilliant blue glow. A deep, ancient voice echoed through the mountains. "After centuries, someone has finally come." David gathered his courage. "I am the heir of the Dragon King. I have come for the 3rd dragon key." The ancient statue stared at him. Then it spoke. "Power is not given to those who simply ask for it, heir." A pause followed. "It must be proven." The enormous temple doors began to move. "Enter and face your greatest fear." The doors slowly opened. David stepped inside. The temperature dropped instantly. Everything around him was frozen. Ancient paintings of dragons covered the temple walls. They looked as if time itself had frozen them forever. David walked deeper into the temple. Then suddenly, something was moving beneath the ice. David looked down. A gigantic shadow was trapped underneath the frozen floor. His eyes widened. Something enormous was sleeping beneath him. An ancient ice dragon. It had been sleeping there for centuries. Suddenly, its eyes opened. A powerful blue light filled the temple. The entire mountain began to shake. Cracks spread across the frozen ground. Ice shattered into the air. And slowly, the enormous dragon rose from beneath the temple. Its massive body glowed with icy blue energy. The baby dragon moved closer to David. Then the ice dragon spoke. "You have awakened me, heir." Its voice echoed through the frozen halls. "Now, prove that you are worthy." Suddenly, the ice dragon released a powerful roar. A massive snowstorm exploded through the temple. David was thrown backward. He landed several feet away as freezing wind surrounded him. The baby dragon quickly rushed toward him. David's body was trembling from the cold. The storm became stronger. He could barely see the ice dragon through the swirling snow. Then, suddenly, David remembered the words of the Dragon Queen. "Do not fight the Guardian. It is not your enemy." David slowly stood up. With all the strength he had left, he shouted through the storm. "I didn't come here to fight." The storm suddenly stopped. Everything became silent. David looked directly at the ice dragon. He raised his hand and revealed the glowing mark on his wrist. "I only want to protect my world." David took a breath. "Just like you once wanted to protect yours." The ice dragon stared at him. Then, something changed in the dragon's eyes. The anger disappeared. Its expression became calm. The ice dragon slowly approached David. It lowered its enormous head until it was standing directly in front of him. Then it spoke softly. "Even in the face of fear, your heart remained warm." A blue glow began forming above its forehead. That was the true trial. Suddenly, a brilliant blue crystal emerged from the ice dragon's forehead. The crystal floated through the air. It was glowing brighter and brighter. David reached out his hand. The third dragon key. David stared at it in amazement. 3 powerful keys were now within his reach. The ice dragon looked at him one final time. "Against the Shadow Wyrm, strength alone will not be enough." A brilliant blue light surrounded the ancient dragon. Its enormous body slowly transformed into thousands of glowing blue particles. The particles floated through the air and disappeared into the frozen temple. The ice dragon was gone, but its message remained in David's heart. David slowly walked out of the temple. The baby dragon followed closely beside him. Outside, David opened the golden map. 3 locations were now glowing. Only one remained. The last dragon nest. David stared at the final destination. But then, new words suddenly appeared beneath the map. 3 keys have been found. David's expression became serious. More words appeared. But in the last dragon nest, the Shadow Wyrm itself is waiting for the heir. He pulled the baby dragon closer. Far above the frozen mountains, dark clouds began gathering in the sky. The peaceful blue sky disappeared behind a wall of black clouds. A cold wind swept across the mountains. David took a deep breath. He knew there was no turning back now. He looked at the baby dragon. Then he whispered, "The final trial is about to begin." The dark clouds grew larger, lightning flashed in the distance, and somewhere beyond the mountains, something ancient was waking up. To be continued.